Hello, everybody. This is Bernard Eugene Bear, Bear, lowercase dash Inger for Behringer Space Junior. My hat says Christ with one dot in the middle of the C, the way with a dot over the Y, the mystery, complete. 10 is the number of completion in the spiritual numbers of God. Cup of coffee, cold, French vanilla cream, and stevia sweetener. Let's talk music. Now, Satan took a third of the angels with him when he fell out of heaven. The very first sin was not the disobedience of Adam. The very first sin was pride from Satan, who said, I'm going to exalt myself as my creator. So God created the number one most beautiful angel in charge of music in heaven. Now, there's basic 2-beat country music, 1-4-5 changes. Then there's rock and roll, very similar. Then there's R&B and blues. And then we get to jazz, Jazz. Now these are people who've taken the principles of music, like Bach and Beethoven, played it a little more on the modern side in the United States. But these are people that can think music and think outside the basic principles or scales of music. It's called playing outside the box, adding melodic scales, sounds to the ear outside the simple basic slave music or country music or simple 2-beat danceable or a 2-4 funky beat. How progressively you play. Now, I said all that to say this. People don't know how to think anymore. To think outside the box and say, and ask the question, you know what's healthy? The question, one word, why? And some of us find the answer to why. I asked why at the age of 29, maybe 30. I was trying to make it to 28 before I married for the first time. I made it to 26. I was married 4 years, and I came home off the road unexpectedly, and my wife was an adulteress, unfaithful. She was having sex with another man in my bed, in my home. So I was driving down the road with tears dripping off my cheeks, asking God, why? Why me, Lord? So anyway, some of us find the answer to why before our lifetime ends. Back to thinking outside the box. I gave you the example of progressive music unto the word jazz, playing or outside the basics of music, basic principles, being unique with different kinds of basic scales, stretching it out to a unique sound or style. What do you see here? This is an example of thinking outside the box, progressive thinking, on how a one-celled animal doubled, tripled, quadrupled, and how many spheres do you see here? And there are metal rods connecting all the different spheres. How many round spheres do you believe are here? And there was one of them that wasn't connected. Where the supreme being God comes from, the highest, most high, made the statement, I know of no living gods higher than me. I am highest Elyon. That supreme being, creator, is outside of time. He's above time. Even though he created things in time, he can see and think outside of time. Therefore, he's playing time jazz music. And outside of time jazz music, Satan was in control of music in heaven. The third heaven, possibly the fourth heaven, possibly all the levels of heaven unto 10. There could be 4 to 10 levels, 3 to 10 levels of God's will, plan, and purpose for eternity, infinity, and eternity, immortality, dwelling in the light outside of time, faster than the speed of light outside of time. Can you think outside the box? And that brings us down to this kind of thinking. Conspiracy theory. Let's keep it simple. I saw the first black and white round Philco TV come up the sidewalk at my home. I had just turned off the radio, listened to my favorite radio program. This is before TVs, before television. I turned off Sky King of the Yukon on the radio, and up the sidewalk, in the front door of the house, and into the corner of the living room came the first black and white round screen TV. So I've lived from 80 years. 1943, World War II, Okinawa, to the present and the next World War. So I've lived 80 years between World War II and World War III. You have to think conspiracy theory outside of the box for the control of the minds of, in 4 generations of 80 years, you got 20, 40, 60, 80. The start of 4 generations in 80 years. Every 20 years, new babies are made by a young couple that marries in their 20s. So in my 80 years, including my generation as the first start, there's 3 more generations after that start up to 80. Okay? 20, 40, 60, 80. The minds of 20-year-olds today, half a generation ago and into the third start, they're now 20 years old at my age of 80. They can't think for themselves, create for themselves, or think outside of the box. They can't think conspiracy. Why all the Saturday morning TV programs from Disneyland, cartoons, from Hollywood, movies, even to the present day, sports, major league sports to occupy your mind, type of TV programs, kill, shoot, cut, riot. You're being programmed by Hollywood movies, television, the programs that are on TV, to the point that women want to be men and change their body physically. Men want to be women and change their body physically. Just read the first chapter of Romans. A man with a man making love, men with men is error, reprobate, haters of God. May I repeat that? Men with men, gayism. Men with men are of a reprobate mind, in error, according to God's will, plan, and purpose, and spiritual principles of his human creation. And they are enemies of God. And that's as simple as I can say it. You better wake up to the conspiracy theories that are going on in the United States. Question everything you see on your phone, on TV, and every movie that Hollywood creates, to the control and manipulating the masses. And they're going to manipulate you with starvation and no food real soon.